dozens of U.S. intelligence assets were arrested, tortured, and executed. The man responsible worked inside the CIA. When America's deepest secrets started bleeding to the Soviets, investigators searched everywhere except the one place they should have looked. By early 1994, the hunt was over. After years of silent betrayal, the man at the center of one of the most devastating intelligence failures in U.S. history was finally in the FBI's sights. On February 21st, in Arlington, Virginia, federal agents moved in and placed Aldrich Ames under arrest on charges of espionage. For more than 3 decades, Ames had been a trusted CIA officer. For nearly 9 of those years, he had secretly served a different master, selling American secrets to Russian intelligence. Standing beside him in custody was his wife, Rosario Ames, a willing partner who helped enable the betrayal. What follows will expose how the spy no one was looking for was finally caught. In the winter of 1986, something inside U.S. intelligence began to fall apart. A CIA source inside the Soviet Union stopped sending messages. Then another. At first, this was treated as coincidence. Intelligence work is risky. Sources disappear. Lines go silent. But soon, arrests began. Trusted agents. Long-term assets. People who had secretly passed information to the United States for years were suddenly exposed. Some were imprisoned. Some were executed. Inside CIA headquarters, fear spread. These sources did not know each other. They worked in different parts of the Soviet system. They were protected by separate handlers. Yet they were falling, one after another. Someone, somewhere, knew their names, and that meant only one thing. There was a mole. Every day, Aldrich Ames walked through CIA headquarters without a second glance. He wasn't flashy. He wasn't quiet. He wasn't memorable. He had clearance to some of the agency's most sensitive files, including the identities of Soviet officials secretly working for the United States. He attended meetings, reviewed reports, handled classified material, and no one suspected him. Ames had grown up around intelligence work. His father had worked for the CIA. The agency felt familiar, almost routine. But by the early 1980s, Ames was slipping. His career had stalled. Promotions passed him by. He drank heavily. His marriage collapsed. Money became a problem. Debt stacked up. Bills followed him. He felt ignored, disrespected, invisible. He wasn't driven by ideology. He wasn't trying to change the world. He wanted recognition and money. In intelligence work, those motives can be enough. In April 1985, Ames crossed a line that could not be undone. He walked into the Soviet embassy in Washington, D.C. He didn't sneak in. He didn't use a handler. He simply introduced himself. Then he handed over a list. According to the FBI, on April 16, 1985, while assigned to the CIA's Soviet/East European Division at CIA headquarters in Langley, Virginia. He secretly volunteered to KGB officers at the USSR Embassy, Washington, D.C. Shortly thereafter, the KGB paid him $50,000. It contained names of Soviet citizens secretly spying for the United States. Some had worked with the CIA for years. In exchange, the Soviets gave him cash. Thousands of dollars at first, then much more. They had found exactly what they needed. The damage was immediate. CIA sources inside the Soviet Union began disappearing at a terrifying rate. Operations collapsed. Entire intelligence networks went dark overnight. Inside the CIA, analysts searched for technical failures. Had codes been broken? Were radios compromised? Was Soviet surveillance improving? Very few people were willing to say the words out loud. A spy inside the CIA. The idea was unthinkable. While others searched for answers, Ames kept doing his job. The FBI say that upon his return to Washington, D.C. in 1989, Ames continued to pass classified documents to the KGB, using dead drops or prearranged hiding places where he would leave the documents to be picked up later by KGB officers from the USSR Embassy in Washington. In return, the KGB left money and instructions for Ames, usually in other dead drops. He wrote reports on Soviet intelligence, sat in meetings discussing operations he had already destroyed, handled files containing the names of people he would betray next. And the payments continued. Millions of dollars flowed to him over time. He bought a large home, expensive clothes, luxury items far beyond his salary. Some co-workers noticed, but in a place built on trust, suspicion moved slowly. By the early 1990s, denial was no longer possible. Too many agents were gone. Too many operations had failed. The CIA and FBI launched a joint investigation. They reviewed who had access to the compromised information. They tracked movements. They narrowed the list, until one name kept reappearing: Aldrich Ames. For 10 months, FBI agents and investigative specialists placed Aldrich Ames under constant physical and electronic surveillance. When they searched his home, they uncovered documents and evidence tying him directly to Russian foreign intelligence. On October 13, 1993, agents watched as Ames marked a mailbox with chalk, a silent signal to Moscow confirming his plan to meet Russian handlers in Bogotá, Colombia. Weeks later, on November 1st, investigators observed Ames in Bogotá and separately, his Russian handler in the same city. As Ames continued his official duties and prepared for overseas travel, including a planned trip to Moscow, authorities moved forward. The decision was made. An arrest plan was approved. The case did not break because of hidden cameras or secret listening devices. It broke because of money. Bank deposits that didn't match his pay. Large sums of cash with no clear source. Financial records that could not be explained. Surveillance worked. The evidence stacked up. On February 21, 1994, FBI agents arrested Aldrich Ames near his home. Inside, they found proof stretching back years. Financial records, documents, clear evidence of betrayal. The damage review took years to complete. More than 100 intelligence operations compromised. Dozens of agents exposed. Some never survived. On April 28, 1994, Aldrich Ames and his wife pleaded guilty. Ames was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. His wife, Rosario Ames, was later sentenced on October 20, 1994, to 63 months in federal prison. In the aftermath, FBI agents debriefed Ames. During these sessions, he admitted to betraying the identities of CIA and FBI human sources, some of whom were later captured and executed by Soviet authorities. Under the terms of his plea agreement, Ames surrendered his assets to the United States. More than $547,000 was transferred to the Justice Department's Victims Assistance Fund. The Cold War was ending, but the cost of his actions remained. Today, intelligence agencies still study the Ames case. Not because he was clever, not because he was bold, but because he didn't stand out. He was trusted. And in the world of espionage, that can be the most dangerous thing of all.